muriendo por verte, agonizando, muy lento y muy fuerte.
This day of diving out of La Paz, Mexico, consisted of 3 dives. The first was at a site called El Bajito, meaning small seamount. It was basically a rock that rose from a depth of about 70 feet to around 25 feet below the surface. The first thing that I noticed about the rock was that it was filled with cracks, the kind that sea creatures like to hide in. I began looking for moray eels because they love to hide in cracks and holes. I immediately found one. Then I found another, and another. It seemed like El Bajito was filled with them. We explored the perimeter of the base, and then worked our way up to the top of the rock, seeking out all of the creatures that called it home, like this curious porcupine fish. As we approached the top of the rock, we came across a couple of sea lions. There was a sea lion colony a few hundred yards from the site, and they were probably visiting from there. The next site that we dove was called El Cardinal. It was a short but deep dive that we did so we could see the Mobius rays there. We found some at about 100-foot depth. They were fast rays, darting and looping around, and then swimming away toward the surface. The third dive was a very shallow dive at a site called El Corralito. The first thing that struck me about El Corralito was the abundance of fish, mostly spot-tail grunts. We swam parallel to the shoreline at a depth of about 30 feet, and as we did, we kept encountering larger and larger schools. As Gary swam along the rocks, the fish weren't especially nervous about his presence. When he swam through a large school, they just sort of parted and then closed in behind him. Then I followed just to see what it was like to swim through a school of fish like that. As I did, I noticed that the school wasn't entirely spot-tailed grunts. There was also parrotfish, sergeant majors, and yellowtail snappers. Then I began to explore around the rocks to see what other kinds of fish I could find. Under one I found some red squirrelfish and a beautiful scissor-tailed damselfish. And some yellowtail surgeonfish. This is a female Mexican hogfish. And this is a handsome male Mexican hogfish. On the way back to the boat, I swam through another thick school of fish. Then I just hung out on the bottom for a while before I got back on the boat. And while I was there, I was visited by a couple of 3-banded butterfly fish who came by to say farewell after a great day of diving.